going in and out of lanes. This person has not been going in and out of lanes, but from what we have heard, the beginning of the chase was weaving all over the place across lanes, correct? So that's kind of the same type of behavior.
Yeah, once we got on board, we didn't see a lot of erratic driving like we're seeing now. It just so in the last couple of minutes, we've seen the vehicle going into and out of lanes because they're traveling about the speed limit with traffic and appeared to stay in their lane. Now that they've really slowed down, in front of them there is no traffic, and we're seeing some very erratic driving on the part. Not traveling at a high rate of speed, but certainly swerving back and forth. We're on the 110 southbound in South LA. I think we're coming up on Slauson here, and I'm not certain exactly what the CHP is going to do in a situation like this. If the vehicle goes slow enough and there's no traffic in front of that vehicle, they don't have to worry about the traffic behind. They could try a pit maneuver, but it's going to be difficult for us to shoot this. You're going to see the shot get a little gray, and we have to push it from a distance because we're pushed down inside what they call the Bravo airspace. That's where all the aircrafts going into LAX fly above, and then there's separation issues between us, the LAPD, and of course the aircrafts going into Los Angeles International.
Yeah, and this
now real slow. This could
GP, welcome. Very slow. And this is almost to the 105. Is that right? Are we
not quite? Not quite. About, okay. Yeah, you know, we're coming up. I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, Milky, thank you.
Up ahead.
Yeah.
Why don't I hear this? There we go.
Okay, so at this point in time, these things get a little sketchy, and this is where you really worry about a pursuit termination like
bridge
this. And the police worry about it as well. And there you go. They took off. So. Or did they? Yeah, there they go. They came out. So we're almost to Slauson. Obviously, working with, dealing with someone here that really has no idea what they want to do in this situation. Whether, oh boy, there's a spike strip.
Hit him.
And this will probably be over soon. It looks like they got it. CHP got it out in time. So these tires
got half of the car,
and the vehicle at some point in time won't be able to continue.
That was good timing.
Yeah, you see the left rear is already
that was
flat.
Good timing.
It looks like that was a great shot. It probably got more than one tire. And at this point in time,
I thought it got the driver's
side. At too
side.
high a rate of speed, then you could see an accident. But more than likely, they'll really start to slow down because they're just going to lose control of the car here at some point. Fortunately, all the traffic is held back to the north on the southbound 110, and we don't see that this is really endangering anyone at this time.
Well, you also saw a traffic break. They were really trying to keep most of the traffic back, but the people in the carpool lane were able to get by.
You can see the side. I mean, that one's flat already.
Almost went into the carpool lane.
Both of those tires are flat.
Going to be a real problem for people who are trying to commute
that
on the
pretty
southbound
quick.
110
Hey,
if they're not
Looney,
in the carpool
welcome.
lane. But you can see even there on the left, they're still kind of moving along there on the left, or are the authorities now there as well?
Yeah, what they did, Philip, is they ran a traffic break, sort of a small one, so that when they threw the spike strip out, you saw the officer run. They were able to stop all traffic so they didn't run over the spike strip. And so traffic is slow on the 110 southbound closer to the downtown Los Angeles areas. It shifts back.
Yeah, GP, this one's not going to last much longer. Actually, let's do a prediction on that.
Southbound, there's traffic backed up
over on Twitch. I just loaded it up. You got 2 minutes to predict whether or not this is going to last for 15 minutes. That means another 12 minutes.
17 miles an hour, as you can see, or the traffic. I think our angle
we just
is
used
such, we're not going to get a really good
15 minutes from when I went live.
Speed tracker there because we're shooting from such a far distance and pushing the shot. But certainly you see what they're doing with traffic on the 110 south, so it will be affected, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is possibly the best case scenario. For the commute, if this person stays over in the carpool lane, instead of coming back over to the main area, once they secure him and take him into custody, they'll be able to let traffic go. But now,
too late.
Correct.
Oh, that tire's going to come
off.
continues
to gum up the whole thing.
Correct, but you know, CHP, if this turns out that they get them into custody very quickly, they're really good about that. They'll just get the vehicle behind it with a bar, and they'll push them to the shoulder. They're really conscientious about trying to get traffic moving. Obviously, if this doesn't end peacefully, that's a whole different story. Traffic will be snarled up for hours if they have to do some type of investigation. We'll just have to see. You know, we saw a moment of doubt there just a few moments ago. The vehicle decided to stop and then took off once again. But at this point in time, they're not going to be able to continue too much further. Well, I shouldn't say that because sometimes at this slow rate of speed, you don't get the damage to the rims and the tires that you, or to the rims that you normally would at a higher speed, and it could go on for a while. But hopefully, you know, this individual, if there's just a man on board, we thought it was a man, will come to their senses and realize they're not getting away and just give up here, and then they can clear the freeway.
Yeah. And so for those of you just joining us, this started in Burbank. But Scott, do you know when this slow speed pursuit started?
I would say it was about, 30, 35 minutes ago, maybe 40, somewhere in that range. Because the time we picked it up, it was on the 101. Or
hey,
the
everybody on
south,
YouTube. Sorry, I'm missing your chats because my shit is scuffed with salt. Leroy.
In Burbank with Burbank PD,
RG.
so it was more than likely initially on the surface streets. They switched
Looney,
it
what's
off
up,
to
guys?
CHP
We got
or
people
LAPD
from
picked it up, I
Dubai,
guess, with their helicopter, and then they
from the
converted
UK.
it over or gave it over to
And yeah, real deal.
CHP.
This is in LA. They're on the 110. He's going south right now.
Interesting perspective here. So all the vehicles now on the bottom
And
of your
Nate,
screen.
what's up?
That's the 110 southbound. CHP is
Or
not letting
Nair.
anybody
Sorry,
go
not
by,
Nate,
so they're
Nair.
running a traffic break there. And as we open up a little bit to the north, you see there's no traffic whatsoever. You'll see the PD helicopter on the top of your screen there, I think, for a moment in an orbit. And
traffic not so bad.
They're probably going to shut down some of the on-ramps to the 110 southbound as well. So hopefully for traffic's sake,
yeah, if it were me, I'd get off right
soon.
there.
It looks like we may have seen the arm back out again.
Oh, they
and
just lost a piece of
the vehicle.
the tire. Yeah, we certainly hope that they
Roy,
can stop.
what's up, man?
But it's just interesting. This is a very different pursuit from some of the others we've seen.
And Jimmy, what's up?
We believe that this person may be under the influence of something, but also perhaps in distress. We just don't know.
Yeah, it's a very common thing, guys. Like the person who's running from the police is often having, the worst day of their life.
You would think the hazard lights are on, which is a little unusual. We saw that initially. I'm not sure if they're still on. It's
I can't see any hazard
in the shot, but you could tell that he's losing control of the vehicle there with the two left tires.
Seems like they're far as hell away
right
now.
Pretty soon.
The news people.
And it's just really tough to tell. Right now, what's good about this pursuit, if anything can be good about a pursuit, is the fact that it's really not endangering anybody. It doesn't appear that anyone will get hurt.
Just saw some sparks there.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It came off the right side. Maybe there's a lot going on that.
Well, you can see you may not be able to see it from your monitor, but that tire on the front, it's almost completely off. Clearly, you can see the back rear tire is flat, but it's still, the rubber is still on the wheel. The front tire, it's almost moving back and forth. So, but it's going to heat up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it almost looked like a pop came out to me on the right side. I figured it'd be on the left side.
There was.
But with the two left tires flat, you could tell it's going to be on the rim pretty soon. And now limping off to the shoulder here.
Lil Joker, what's
it looks
up, man?
like coming up,
yeah, I don't know how much longer this one's going to go on. This isn't looking good for him.
And off to the right shoulder, this would be the best case scenario. But they're not going to open the freeway here until they have the suspect.
Whoa, what is up with this? Oh, this guy stopped.
Interesting.
You're going to just...
exactly. That vehicle stalled out, blocked them in. And you see all the patrol cars behind him. So it gets dicey right here. They don't know if this individual's armed. And
that car's
things can
missing some
turn
tires.
ugly very quickly if the suspect does not comply and makes sudden moves. So be very careful, Chad, when the door opens on this vehicle. But hopefully, for traffic's sake, and we don't know, there might be another person on board that vehicle. We just don't know for sure. But hopefully, be able to get this individual into custody without incident, open the freeway back up.
Yeah, and it seems that the Kia is close
What's
enough
the reason
to that,
they're running? I'm not
car,
sure.
The Mercedes, that it won't be able to drive off again.
I'm not sure how this
without hitting
began.
it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's pretty close.
Worst case scenario, though, the Kia backs up.
That's true.
Police do not like it when the vehicle's coming at them, and we've seen vehicles get shot at when they do that. So at this point in time, CHP is just trying to do everything they can do to try and get this individual out of the vehicle without incident, okay? Because it's a tough situation. They don't know who's in that vehicle.
I think this is the
They don't know if that individual's armed. And with that, they have to protect themselves and the public, and this is just a situation.
Why'd he pull up behind that car?
Dicey. Unfortunately, sometimes these standoffs go on for hours.
He could have just turned to the left and gotten out of there. Right, I mean, there's no reason why.
All lanes are still shut down. On the 110 freeway, I believe this is right before Century, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and one thing
no traffic's getting by.
One thing to think about with that, Scott, depending on how long this goes, people who are watching this need to be aware, take a different route to the airport.
Yes.
Because if you have to go to the airport and you normally take the 110, do not do that right now. Go navigate around it, go to the 405, go a different route, but do not end up on the 110 because this can play out for a very long time. There have been times this is, a long-playing incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the 110 freeway, to the west, you've got Figueroa, and to the east, you got Broadway. They're major north-south thoroughfares, and they're going to be much better than the freeway. There's no question about that. You don't want to get on the freeway at all.
Absolutely.
But we do have a couple of alternate surface streets that work pretty good.
Yeah, 5+ cops. I usually, I'm sure that we would have gotten that one.
Yeah,
I didn't.
This could go on for a long time.
I usually just go with that one when there's always 5+ at the end.
Come out of the vehicle, but if they don't, then it's hard to say exactly how they'll handle this. Sometimes we see them walk up and break a window and throw in tear gas or a gas canister. It's just hard to say how it would play out.
Yeah.
You can see the officer in the white vehicle there to the left. He's got the. Looks like he's got the bullhorn there.
Planet Fatness, what's up, man?
A Dodge Charger, one of the.
Yep.
You don't usually want to see one of those in your rearview mirror.
Oh wow,
but,
he just pulled his arm.
Yeah, and you don't notice.
Hope the Kia Soul doesn't take someone's soul, man. There's a lot of chases with the Kia Soul for some reason.
Yeah, of course they do. They don't know if the suspect's armed.
Yeah.
Give me a wide shot. I just want to give the folks an idea why you don't want to get on the 110. Now, it's affecting the 110 northbound as well because people are starting to see all the activity southbound, and it's human nature. You can't not look for the most part. But southbound 110, forget about it. They'll bring up SkyMap 7.
And
on
yeah,
the left
GP,
side of the
I
screen
did
is
enjoy
Broadway,
it.
And on the right side of your screen is Figueroa.
It's also good to be home.
SkyMap 7 off, and you'll see those streets, and you can see the traffic's not a factor on Broadway or on Figueroa. So you can get around this if you get off the freeway, but if you get on the freeway too far south, you're stuck.
Right.
There's no off-ramp here.
And unfortunately, the people on the freeway have no recourse at this point.
None.
Well, but it's also important to note this kind of congestion will take a while to clear even after this incident is cleared. So, again, if you need to use the 110, and we were talking about the airport,
Phil, hey, how you doing?
What is on your agenda for this afternoon, it might be best just to plan from the beginning to go a different direction.
What are these guys doing over on the right side?
No question. That'd be the best way to go right now. And if you know somebody who's driving this, a loved one or a friend that drives the 110, reach out to them just in case they haven't heard about this so they can save a little time because we all know how frustrating this is. I got stuck on the Ventura Freeway this morning with all lanes
I'm doing well, and yeah, it's nice to finally have a chase
but
here,
people
but
now just standing in their vehicle,
it did not last
with a phone,
long.
taking pictures.
Yes, we see that.
Let's stay on the vehicle. Let's go back to the vehicle. I just want to see if the individual does come out, but now we just have a standoff, and
white CHP cars are nicknamed Polar Bear Interceptor.
Peacefully, trust me.
Really?
The last thing they want
this one here over on the left.
Here. But at this point in time, it's pretty much up to the driver whether or not they're going to get out. Now, the CHP also has a lot more information than we have. They're able to run that plate. If it's not stolen, they know who it's registered to.
Did someone steal it? We don't know.
The registered owner.
We don't have much information here.
Start running some checks that way. If it turns out they have someone in the family with mental illness, they can find out about that. Now,
they're taking
this is
an
interesting.
aggressive tact here.
Yeah,
this is kind of, they're not waiting.
Why are there two cars? OP, he just pulled up behind this other car. This is just. We don't understand why, but that car was just there. I don't think there's anyone in it or anything. It's missing its tires, its wheels entirely.
It leads me to believe
it was just there,
and
he pulled up behind it and stopped.
They've got some inside information. Maybe they've talked to someone who knows this individual, and because of that, they don't feel like they're pulling up to a, 3-time felon that might have an automatic weapon. It seems like they might know something. I agree with you.
And if they have had a
chance
chance
to
talk
rip him out of the car,
or her, there is the possibility that they might have, they might know whether, as Giovanna mentioned, the person is under
I think that's probably a good idea.
Possibly under the influence of something.
The door locked. What are you going to do?
Approached the windows very aggressively in comparison to, when I say aggressively, I mean without the typical protections sometimes we'll see, but they're trying to break a window, it looks like, and get this person out.
Yeah, they're putting their guns away, so obviously they're seeing something.
I agree. I think they know a lot
get
more
out
than
of
we
the car,
do.
man.
They can see now how many people are on board. I think we can push it a
Yeah,
little
Looney
bit.
says he wants the other driver who's got his
hesitant
wheel
to push
flat
it
to
too
put
much
his.
If it ends in a gun battle, we just don't want
he wants him to help him, right?
They're breaking the window.
They're going to break that back window.
There's nobody in that car in front of him.
I don't know if they have a gas
that
canister
Mercedes.
and they're going to throw that in, or they just
It's
want to open
abandoned.
up that back door.
Okay, what are they going to do?
Or even the driver's side door.
Looks like they're opening the passenger side.
They're trying to. Do they even have space? I guess they do.
This could be a rescue operation, you know what I'm saying?
They got the back door.
It's possible somebody's been kidnapped in that back seat. We don't know. There may be
we don't know. That's a lot of speculation.
I mean, at this point, we don't know anything other than it does seem as if they are trying to get into the vehicle and it doesn't appear as if they're worried about their own safety.
They're trying to get
now we're
yeah,
just,
Looney, I guess so. I mean, is this the guy? Wait, they got him. They're pulling him out.
They're pulling the person out.
Okay, they got him out.
It looks like they felt it was easier to take.
Oh, it's a woman.
To take them out. Wow. Yeah, boy, that's sad. I hate to see this. You know, obviously she does not look well.
Yeah, she having a bad
as you
day.
mentioned, Giovanna, it appears that they're not well. So, I mean, mental health issues could be at play here.
Mental health issues are very often in play with these chases. It's usually not somebody dangerous. It's just someone who is out of their mind, having some sort of mental break.
For maybe 30, 40 minutes
it's really common.
Onto the 101 freeway and then ended here. CHP will clear this very quickly, though, from past experiences that I've seen. They'll do a really good job of making sure traffic gets moving. They know how frustrating it is. But the incident is over.
KO, we've seen a lot of chases with Kia Soul, like a lot of them.
Attention they need. I'm sure an ambulance has been called.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're right. The good thing is no one's been hurt, and they cleared it very quickly, or they're at least.
They will.
It didn't look like she was making a good attempt to get away, but we came into the game pretty late.
It was almost the officer was almost trying to calm the person with the hand
the
on the
news
back
station
once
didn't get there until the chase
and,
was basically
they had this
over.
person out of the vehicle, so now they'll just transport that person into a vehicle, and as you mentioned, Scott, move on and get things on the way. So again, we still do not know what this was, but Giovanna, I think you might have made a very good point that the person is just in distress. It could be for any number of reasons. But we are going to wrap this up. But CHP has now taken the person into custody after a chase that began in Burbank. Slow speed chase on the 110 freeway. Scott Wright, thank you very much. He's in Air 7 HD and will continue to take a look at this. And as they open the freeway and get things back to normal, we will, of course, let you know when that happens.
Yeah. Meantime, moving on,
Okay, that's it.
An activist turned politician, Gloria Molina, had a 32-year career as an elected official. Molina was a role model who paved the way for future generations.
Eyewitness News reporter Jaysha Patel.
Thanks, everybody. If I go live again, it's because there's another chase. Yeah, that was a chase, Senless. All right, everybody. Have a good day. I'll see you later, maybe next time. Yeah, Jaysha Patel. Yeah, I've never seen her before, but ooh. Yeah, glad nobody got hurt. It ended peacefully.